Hi, this is Tom. There's my double door GE refrigerator. That right hand handle, it was almost coming off. The bottom was flipping right away from the door. I was afraid I was going to lose the screw, lose the contact, and bust the handle right off. Well, I was able to fix it. I want to show you how I did it. Right here on the bottom, there's a little cap. Oh, it's so hard to see. It blends right into the contour of the handle. That little cap is hiding the screw. That's what you got to get at. And here's how you do it. Okay, don't use a kitchen knife and don't use a jackknife. No, those sharp points, real sharp points, if you try to get them in there, they're going to chip the plastic. Get yourself a putty knife, right? This is one that's Florida rust on it. This putty knife here, it has a little beveled edge on the end, so it's real sharp there. And you put that right in, that little slit that you can find there. Work the edge in, get a good amount of surface in there first, and then kind of bend it and flip it, and this piece will kind of lift off. Once it separates, it'll come off easily. Grab a hold of it with your hand, wiggle it around, pull it straight out. There it is. I got the edge of the putty knife started in there, right? I'm going to kind of get as much of it in there as I can so I don't threaten chipping the cover. No, did you hear it pop? It's coming loose now. There, popped it again. I took the putty knife and turned it one way and then the other, releasing the quenching of it. Now it pops right off. Now look at this. It has a tab up here on top and it has a little stem here on the bottom. And that stem has to fit in a certain location when you reinstall it. See, there's the screw head. And it's not a Phillips head. No, I'm going to show you the problem you're going to run into. Oh, you see that little stem there sticking out on the bottom? Right here? Yeah, that's a receiver for that little stem nub that's on the plate. So when we put it back in, it's going to have to go into the top and then nest so that the stem fits into this hole and you pop it back in. Here's a little set of tips that my buddy Bill Jackson gave me one time about 20 years ago, and I use this set so many times when I'm working on electronics, laptops, or appliances, because they use all the funny screws, all the funny screw heads. You know, they tend to be, try to make them tamper-proof, right? So you've got to have the right tools. Now this tip happens to be the correct one. It's a little dinky square thing sticking out there. I can't get it in there with my fingers, so I'm going to have to put it on the driver. There, it's on the handle and the extension. Now it can go up there and get in that screw head. There you go. And you can draw it up. And once it's real snug, you're all set. Remember now, that cap that had that little stem sticking up. See it near the bottom there? That's got to fit in that little receiver hole down in here below where the screw was. Okay, so you bring the cap up and you lever it, kind of posture it so that you got that stem going in the hole, get it lined up. Now gently tilt it up, line up the tab with the slot. There you go. 2 snaps, one on the right, one on the left. Now it's in there. Well, that's how you take off the cap and get it to screw to tighten the refrigerator handle on this GE double door. Now, remember what in review what we said. You want to use a stiff putty knife, a putty knife that doesn't flex or bend too much. It's got to be a strong one. Hopefully you have a tapered tip on it. That tapered tip lets you get it in to the little dinky groove that's in that cap, and you don't want to chip it. You want to kind of love tap it in there with the palm of your hand. Then wiggle the blade a little bit to kind of break that thing free from its retaining in there. It snugly snaps in. You got to snap it a little bit to get it loose, to get it out. But you want a wide blade, not a pen knife, not a jackknife, not something that's going to chip that plastic. Get a big a width in there as you can before you put too much strength on it. Pop the cap off and have the right receiver tip for your screwdriver that you need. That is not a Phillips head screw on my refrigerator, and probably not on yours. They put in these funny screws, tamper-proof, they think. Well, if you got the right tool, it fits in that head and snugs that screw up securely. It may take a while sticking several of them in there to find the right size one. You want the one that fits that screw properly. Do not strip it. Oh boy, that'd be disaster. Tighten it up, and when you put the cap on, remember, you got to line that little stem up with the hole, the plug that receives it, and you got to kind of tip the handle cover just a little bit to line it up, and then pop it in there. You'll hear a right hand snap and a left hand snap. It's nice to kind of wiggle it in. That's what it seems to work the best. Well, there you go. Good luck.